Pleasant. Senzo, you're right there? Okay, cool. So there we go. Gwen should start settling down now as well. Probably just wondering what's going on. You can see it's Gwen just by the tatty ears. From far away you can already see her, and she's got that sort of look about her. I don't know why, there's something about her face that I just recognize when I see her from a long way away, but definitely the tatty ears help as well. Now the little ones aren't here by the looks of it with her at the moment. Like I say, they might have run into the den because of the noise of the car arriving. That is very possible and does happen quite often when it comes to little tiny ones. They're still getting used to us, and so until such time as everything's quiet and down, you'll find they hide away, and then they'll come out when things get a little bit quieter, I'm hoping. You can see she's been lying in a mud wallow somewhere. On her right hip there's a bit of mud. There we go. So, not uncommon for hyenas to go and do this. They often will make their way towards water where they'll lie in it, and it just helps to cool their body down quite quickly. They seem to really like water. When I was down in the Sand River, I used to see them often playing around in the shallows of the Sand River, jumping and running and chasing one another. So very common to see. You can see she's just watching around, just checking, making sure that we haven't arrived with anything untoward. But look at the bulk of that neck and those shoulders. Massive. You've got grass all over your face, Gwen. You need to clean yourself up, my girl. She's obviously been lying down and resting and sleeping so nicely that the grass is all stuck to her face. Particularly if she had a bit of a wet coat, then you'll find that the grass does stick a little bit more. But you can see she's just looking up the mound every now and then. I wonder if the little ones didn't just run behind there just now, because she keeps looking that way and just seeing where they are. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are happy to see the hyenas, and it's so nice that we've actually had the hyenas spending more time in our area and this den site, and to have these new little additions to the den is fantastic news. So Djuma seems to be doing well. We've got 2 new ones. Gwen looks as though she's in good health, and Ribbon as well. Now for just to see Madam and Pretty and Corky and see where they all are and find what they're up to. It would be nice if we could find a den site for the alpha, well, the higher ranking females, the matriarchal females should we say, not alpha females. It would be good to see where they are and what they're up to, because they're the ones that we have seen very little of over this year. We've seen quite a bit of Ribbon, obviously, and Gwen has started the year seeing her, and then has, well, Itchy, there we go, getting rid of all the bits of grass. And then Ribbon kind of carried us through, and Gwen at the beginning of the year. So it's been good to see a lot of the lower ranking females and that they've been denning. Now we just need the higher ranking females to set up a den and to have 2 hyena dens, and that would be fantastic news. And I really hope that these 2 little ones survive. It's been a rough year for our hyena cubs. They've had a tough time of it, and I'm not sure what's happened to them. We know that there was one that was with Djuma, and that one disappeared, and who knows what happened there. We've seen quite a few of the leopards hanging around that Philemon's den cut line, so maybe one of the leopards got to it, or lions. There we go, she's going to go and call them out, maybe? Let's see. Come on, little ones. There they come, look, there they are. Hey guys. Oopsie, back down we go. Now, Molly, you say the hyenas here at Djuma seem cute and sweet. Oh, and there comes Djuma now as well. Whereas the ones in the Mara seem angry and aggressive. Well, it's probably a bit of a sort of situational thing. We unfortunately don't get to spend nearly as much time with our hyenas here as what we see in the Mara. Also, the clans here are much smaller than what is in the Maras, which means those ones up there seem to be very brazen and very sort of open about going after other lions and trying to tackle everybody and really fight with everyone, whereas these ones are a little bit smaller and they're a bit more wary of our lions in this area. So you find that the hyenas in this particular clan are a bit nervous of what goes on. Hey, little one, what you doing? Isn't that the cutest little thing? Now, if you take the Elephant Plains clan that's around, they're a lot more brazen and are a lot more like the Mara hyenas. They tend to push lions about and be involved in everything and chase wild dogs and leopards, and are a lot more aggressive in their behavior than what we're seeing from the hyenas of the Djuma clan. You're still a bit wobbly. These things are brand new. I would imagine they must be maybe 3 weeks. There comes the little head of the other one. So for anyone who was worrying about the second one, there it comes. They're both still absolutely fine. Look at you guys. Oh, a little grooming. Sammy Jane, you're wondering how often 2 cubs survive. Well, in my experience with the Djuma clan, obviously has not been, oh, this one's about to fall. If it doesn't watch where it's going, it's kind of backing up. Oh, there we go. The Djuma clan has not been very long. I haven't had too much time around them, and the ones that I have seen, unfortunately, there's been a number of deaths among the smaller ones and siblings. So not too successful from the Djuma clan side as yet. But if I take the experience over a whole of all the years that I've watched hyena cubs, it's actually quite common for both to survive. We've seen quite a few here in the Djuma clan. If I look at the lineage going backwards, there's a few that have survived here. The Elephant Plains clan, it was pretty much, I can't even remember them losing one in the 2 years that I was in Somaliland. So lots of siblings that made it. Oh, look at these two. This is bundles of energy and cuteness. Look, are you coming to see what's going on? It's amazing how between the two of them there is always one that's a little bit more investigative and more confident to go and explore and to go and check around what's going on, and then you get one that's a little more shy. Look how this one is rubbing up on mom. Are you saying hello to mom? And now playing, running through the legs. So cute. Oh, unfortunately there's a branch in front of there. I want to just wait for Gwen to lie down, and then once she lays down... Oh, Gwen, you're going to fall, my girl. Be careful. I'm just going to try and sneak forward for Senzo so that he's got a more open view. The little ones might just jog into the bush a little bit. There we go. That should be better, Senzo. Braylee, you're a new viewer. Welcome to Safari Live, Braylee. I hope you're enjoying it so far. And you want to know how many members can a hyena clan have? Well, Braylee, it's a bit like how long is a piece of string, because it depends on a number of factors. The Djuma clan is not very big, whereas if you go to the clan that it lies to the west of them, there is over 50 members in that clan now. And if you go up into the Mara, there's some of those clans that are also 50, 60, 70 hyenas together. And in parts of Ethiopia, there's big clans there that also can number 100 adult hyenas. So it just depends on the area, food availability, other predators, water availability that will dictate the size of them. And so you find that they can be variable from 5-6 animals all the way up to 100. So it really is variable depending on the area and how they can sustain themselves with food and competition with other predators. But you can see the two of them are fighting over the teats. Now, with a hyena, she only has 2 teats, and so these two will jostle for position, but they will ultimately both get a teat to feed on, which is good news. And you just find that it's about getting comfortable and getting to the right one. What also will happen is that between the two of them, it depends on their sex. If they are a female, then they often will bully the male. If there's a male cub sibling, they'll bully him and take the best teat and the best position, and often they'll push each other around. If it's 2 females, then competition will be fierce to be able to become the stronger one of the two and be able to dominate the other one. So even as a small age, they will start having that trait where they start to dominate one, and you'll find one will grow slightly bigger than the other one, and then there'll be a bit of competition going forward. You can see, look how they push each other as they vie for position. Mom's paws just got in the way of that. Listen. squeaking going on. You two are far too cute for your own good. Isn't this cool, guys? We are so fortunate to be able to see this. I feel like Gwen, though, is going to go flying down this hill at any moment. She's lying at such an awkward angle. You can see even the little ones are battling to find a firm footing to actually suckle. They're almost sliding down the bank. She needs to find a better way to lie in order for them to suckle easier. You can see squeaking going on because it can't reach the teat. Super cute though. I'm sure Gwen will soon try and find a way to lure them down a little bit. Barn Cat Chris, who is also new to Safari Live, so welcome as well. And you want to know, how do we determine whether they're male or female at such a young age? Well, it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult to be exact with the two of them at this size. We basically have to look at their genitalia. Oh, there we go. There's a bit of fighting happening between the siblings. Mom's getting involved now. But it's basically their genitalia that is what affects or is how we sex them. So at this stage we haven't been able to see their genitalia, so it's difficult to know actually who's who. But effectively the males will have a much more enlarged end to, because remember, if you're new to this program, that female hyenas do have fake male genitals, basically. It's a pseudopenis, and so the male pseudopenis will have a more rounded end to it and a bulbous end, whereas the females is a little bit straighter, and that's how we sex them when they're so young. But these two, I don't know if anybody has seen the genitals yet and has been able to sex them as yet. Now, I believe Tara's got a bird, so let's quickly go across to... Oh, no. It's flown off, I'm afraid. Sorry, guys. I thought we would quickly be able to get across to Tara, but it flew off before I could even finish saying quick link. So that's just unfortunately the way it is. Now, you can see with hyena, after we've been looking at male lion tracks earlier, now we can see the difference between the hyenas. You see that their claws are exposed and all blunted from being exposed and have worn down. There's also those banana-shaped toes. Unlike our lion toes we had earlier that were bright, or very rounded and separated from one another, her toes have that banana shape to them. Oh, Gwen, you are definitely going sliding down this bank at some point. She's almost wrapping herself around the entrance of the mound to allow these two to feed. Here we go. Campy, you want to know how old Gwen is. I'm not 100% sure exactly how old she is. I know that she is a old female, just given that her ears and everything like that is well damaged, and you can see that she's an older female. I would imagine that she must be around 12 years, 11, 12 years, maybe 13 at a push. I know a lot of our viewers have followed these hyenas for long periods of time, so I'd love to hear your input, but my opinion would be somewhere around 12, which is quite old for a hyena. Hyenas sometimes don't live much beyond that, so she's done really well to still be alive and to be able to have her little ones. And you find that most hyenas will be somewhere around, 15 when they... as a maximum lifespan. So I would imagine this will be Gwen's last litter that she would potentially have if they survive to adulthood. But she's somewhere around there. I think it's 2006, somewhere there, would be 12 years. Does that sound right? 11 years, that's 11 years, sorry. My maths is terrible. But so 11 years would be 11, 12, yeah. I might be right, I don't know, might be wrong. It's difficult sometimes with hyenas, especially low-ranking females, because their ears get tatty quicker and they get bullied a little bit. So it's difficult with that, but I would imagine somewhere in that area. Right, we're going to carry on watching our little cute hyenas, but we're going to quickly go back to Tara so she can say goodbye to all of you and do her last segment for her time this time, because hopefully she will be back. And from myself, it's been an absolute pleasure working with Tara, and I've really enjoyed her being around, and I hope that she's enjoyed it just as much. And it's been fantastic to not only work with her but to learn from her as well. So enjoy her last few words, and we'll see you all in a little bit.